Hello, my friends. Hope you're all well, enjoying life. I'm out today. I'm just walking into camp, and today I think I'm going to attempt to show you how to build, well, how to dig a Dakota fire pit. So I'll spin you around, walk into camp. I'll catch you in a minute. There it is. The bracken's died off a bit since I covered it, which is obvious. But the fire pit, I'm going to dig roughly about there, I think. Just cleaning a bit of ground. That's where I normally have my normal fire. Normally have my normal fire about here, because it's just in front of the shelter, and I like to keep that for a bit of heat. So what I'm going to do with the Dakota fire pit, I'm going to dig it just slightly back. The Dakota fire pit got its name from the Dakota Plains Indians. They used to dig the fire pit basically where they was out hunting buffalo, as a way, a means of cooking, keeping warm. It's a stealthy fire pit, hardly any smoke if it's done properly. It's just ideal for if you're in a covert situation or you don't want no one to see that you're having a fire. Basically, it's a set of two holes. One, I should do about a foot, just under a foot wide. And then what you want to do is upwind of your main hole, which to be fair, there's not a lot of wind today. Slightly that side. You want to dig a smaller hole, about 12, 14 inches away, on a 45-degree angle. And basically, it acts as a flue, as a tunnel, brings the oxygen in. That's the basics of the Dakota fire pit. So I'm going to start digging. That's roughly my main hole, and there's a small hole out there. Look, we've hit a problem already. I've already hit a root, and you need to be careful because you don't want to dig a hole where you've got a root system of trees, because you put your fire in there, it's going to catch the roots and burn all the roots. So you've got to be careful, but I'll explore a bit more. Now, we might be alright, it's just surface root. So I'll bring you back in a bit when I've digging a bit more of the hole so you can see a bit more clearly. As you can see, I don't know if you can see. I've dug down about foot and a half, so I'm not far away now. I'll go to a half a footish, and then I'll start my ventilation hole for the oxygen to come through to keep the fire burning. But the purpose of this Dakota fire for me is basically for cooking, because I've got my normal fire which keeps me warm enough, and I like an open fire to see, and I haven't got to be covert, so I'm going to use this whole Dakota pit purely for cooking. But it's pretty hard going. I mean, as you can see, the pebbles and that in there, for a bit of woodland, it's quite hard going. I mean, it is a bit labour intense depending on the soil, the ground you're digging, but it's well worth it in the end. But I'll carry on and I'll get back to you in a bit. I'll tell you what, I'm gassing for a brew. I've been digging this hole for a good 20 minutes now already, so I've been back at work. What I've got to do next, like I say, about a foot away, roughly here, is I've got to dig my ventilation hole, and I want to dig that hole half the depth of your main fire hole, and then go down on a 45-degree angle. So I'm going to crack on. I'll see you in a bit. Right, I don't know if you can see, but I've started digging the vent hole. It's about half as deep as the main fire pit. What I like to do, once I've got further into it on the angle, is using a stick and your saw, a little tip of doing it. Cut it off square, so keep that. It's a nice little U shape. Put a bit of a point on the end of your stick. And you can use your stick to get it all through to your main hole. That's looking nice. Let's get all the loose out now. Looks like a rabbit. I'll just spin you around and show you the hole. Basically, that's your main hole, roughly about 1.5 to 2 footish so away. Put your a smaller hole, your ventilation shaft, about halfway down on a 45-degree angle. See, I've just took a bit of the ground away there, so just lets the wind go in earlier, go in a bit better. But basically, that is your Dakota fire pit. I'm just going to clean up some of these edges. There is a bit of root system here, but we'll be alright with that. It's only main big roots, but it's only a cooking pit. So I'll catch you in a bit. I've just prepared with my knife a bit of fat wood shavings, some little strips. I've got my flint today, but to be fair, it's wearing down a bit. It's for emergency though, emergency. I can use it, but I've got a light on me. So it's all about making things easier for yourself. We all know we can start fires with flints, but I've got a lighter, so why not? See, it should get going in a minute. A bit more fat one onto the each way. That's it. Starting to go now. Obviously, to minimise the smoke, it's always best to use dry wood if you can. Looking at that, the wind's changed. There you go, look. You wouldn't believe it, but there is a fire there. Virtually smokeless. That's the ventilation shaft, which you could also, if you're cooking on top, which I'm going to do a bit later on, I'll give me a couple of burgers, you could feed your bits of wood in from. Got the burgers on, you can just put a grill over the top, or 2 bits of green wood, your mess tins, your kettle. Brilliant. Lo and behold, I've just put my burgers on and it started to spit of rain. Hopefully it'll hold off a bit. The burgers are cooking nicely. There you go, people. The Dakota fire pit. If done properly, virtually smokeless fire. Very good for stealth mode. Everyone. Grease on me. Yes. The burgers. Treble stack. Cooked on the Dakota fire pit. Beautiful. So that's the Dakota fire pit. It's starting to go out now, so I'll let it go out and I'll douse it down with some water, make sure it's all properly out. But my usage for it is initially before cooking, because I do like I'm on private land, I'm allowed on, you know, private land, on my friend's private land. Let's give them permission, so I'm allowed to have an open fire as long as I douse it out properly, leave no trace. But the beauty of the Dakota fire pit as well, once it's served its purpose, all the top soil that you've taken out can go back in and leave no trace. It is an ideal cooking. It's a warm fire if you sit round it as well. I mean, you haven't got to have it massive because it's a confined hole. It gives off some heat. Ideal for cooking, putting your pan straight on, a grill over the top, a kettle on. Great little fire. It is a bit time consuming. I mean, I did have a little bit of a hard dig, to be fair. And you have got to be careful of the root systems, because if you put a fire in a root system, you could burn the forest down, or at least a few trees, and we don't want that. But that's the Dakota fire pit. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you all. Like and subscribe if you like my videos. And I'll catch you on the next one.